welcome you all in this lecture related to belt rope and chain drive. In the previous lectures, we have seen flat belt, V-belt and wire ropes, their construction and selection process from manufacturer's catalog. In this lecture, we will be studying chain drives, different types of chains, their geometry, polygonal effect in the chain, failures of the chain and selection process of the chain, and finally lubrication of the chain.
Contents of this lecture are Introduction to chain drive, types of chains, geometry of the chain, polygon effect in the chain, selection criteria for chain drive, modes of failure of chain, and lubrication of chains. Chain drive consists of an endless series of chain links which mesh with the toothed sprockets. An endless chain wrapped around the socket feels as shown in below figure. The chain has number of links connected by pins. The sprocket have teeth of special profile. So this figure 1 shows the chain drive, typical chain drive, where we can see the toothed sprocket. One is a smaller wheel or smaller sprocket, which is also called as pinion, and another one is larger sprocket, or it is also called as gear. Left hand side photograph shows the typical chain. Chain drives are used to perform three basic functions. First, transmitting power. Second, conveying materials. And third, timing purposes. The chain drive is intermediate between belt and gear drives. It has some features of belt drives and some of the gear drives. Advantages of chain drives. Chain drives can be used over a wide range of center distances. They are particularly suitable for medium center distance where gear drives will require additional idler gears. Second advantage of chain drive is a number of shafts can be driven in the same or opposite direction by means of the chain from a single driving sprocket as shown in below figure 2. So this figure shows a driving wheel, and with the help of this driving wheel, these three pulleys are rotated either in the same direction or in the opposite direction. Third advantage, chain drives results in compact unit due to small overall dimensions than belt drives. A chain does not slip or creep, and to that extent chain drive is a positive drive. The efficiency of chain drives is high. For properly lubricated chain, the efficiency of chain drive is from 96% to the 98%. Chain does not require initial tension as in case of belt drives, hence the forces acting on shafts are reduced. Chains are easy to install and replace as compared to belt and gear drives. Atmospheric conditions and temperatures do not affect the performance of chain drives. Now let us see disadvantages of chain drives. As the chain drives operate without full lubricant film between the joints, this results in more wear at the joints. This wear increases the pitch of the chain, and therefore the chain is stretched out and may leave the sprocket if the tension is not adjusted from time to time. Chain drives are not suitable for non-parallel shafts like bevel and worm gears. Chain drive is unsuitable where precise motion is required due to polygonal effect, which we will be discussing in the forthcoming slides. Chain drives require housing. Chain drives require adjustment for slack, such as a tensioning device. Compared with a belt drive, chain drives require proper maintenance, particularly lubrication. Chain drives generate noise. Applications of chain drives. Chain drives are used in various applications such as bicycles, motorcycles, agriculture machinery, rolling mills, conveyors, conveyors, and material handling equipments. So these some of the photographs which are showing the application of the chain drive. This first photograph shows the power transmission application. This second photograph shows the conveying of application, and this third photograph shows the timing application. Now let us see types of chains. According to their purpose, chains are classified into the following three groups. First, load lifting chains. Second, hauling chains. And third one, power transmission chains. Now let us see load lifting chains. Load lifting chains are used for suspending, raising or lowering loads in material handling equipment. The popular example of this type of chain is a link chain, which is shown in figure 4. Link chains are used in low capacity hoists, winches and hand operated cranes. The advantages of link chains are it has good flexibility in all directions. Second advantage, can operate with small diameter pulleys and drums. Third, simple to design and easy to manufacture. Fourth one, produce low noise and are particularly practically noiseless at low speeds of less than 0.1 meters per second. The disadvantages of link chains are: first, link chain is heavy in weight. Second, it is susceptible to jerks and overloads. Third, the failure of link chain is sudden and total. Fourth one, link chains operate at a low speed. Now let us see second type, hauling chains. Hauling chains are used for carrying materials continuously by sliding, pulling or carrying in conveyors. The popular example of this category is a block chain as shown in figure 5. So this figure shows the block chain. It consists of side plates of simple shapes and pins. It operates at medium velocities of up to 2 to 4 meters per second. In general, hauling chains have long pitches because they have considerable length and mesh with sprockets whose size is not strictly limited. These chains are relatively noisy and wear rapidly because of the impact between the blocks and the sprocket. These chains are used only for conveyor applications. Now let us see third type, power transmission chains. Power transmission chains are used for transmitting power from one shaft to another. Following types of chains are commonly used for power transmission. So first is roller chains and second is silent or inverted tooth chains. So let us see roller chains. The construction of a typical roller chain is shown in figure 6. So this shows the typical construction of a roller chain. It consists of alternate links made of inner and outer link plates. A roller chain consists of following parts. So this figure shows roller chain parts. So we can see the different parts of roller chain as roller, bushing, pin, outer link plate and inner link plate. Now let us see one by one. So the pins which pass through the bushings are press fitted into the outer link plates. Second bushing, the bushings are press fitted into the lower link plates. Third roller, the rollers are fitted on the bushing. The rollers mesh with the teeth on sprocket wheels. There is rolling between the rollers and the teeth on sprocket wheels. And fourth one, inner link plates and outer link plate. There are two rows of outer link plates and two rows of inner link plates. So in figure 7 we can clearly see there are two rows of inner link plate and two rows of outer link plates. Types of roller chains. There are two types of roller chains. The first one is single strand or simple roller chains and second is multiple strand chains. So let us see single strand or simple roller chains. In single strand or simple roller chain, there is only one row of the chain as shown in figure 8. So this figure we can clearly see there is only one row of the chain. Second, multiple strand chains. In multiple strand chains, there are more than one row of chains placed adjacent. So this figure 9 we can see there are two rows placed adjacent to each other. They are similar to having more chains side by side with a long pin passing through the entire breadth of the chain. Depending on number of rows, they are known as double strand or duplex chains as shown in figure 9, triple strand which will have 3 rows or triplex chains. Second type, inverted tooth or silent chains. Inverted tooth chain consists of a series of toothed link plates that are pin connected to permit articulation. So this figure 10 shows the inverted tooth or silent chain. The operation of this chain is smooth and quiet. Hence, these type of chains are used for high-speed applications. But these chains are costly, which limits their use. Now, geometry of the chain. The engagement of the chain on sprocket wheel is shown in figure 11. So this figure 11 shows the chain running over the sprocket. So let us see the important definitions one by one. The first definition is pitch circle diameter of the sprocket, which is denoted by small d or capital D. Small d is for the smaller sprocket, capital D is for the bigger sprocket. The pitch circle diameter of the sprocket is defined as the diameter of an imaginary circle that passes through the centers of link pins as the chain is wrapped on the sprocket. So in the figure it is shown by capital D. Second definition, pitch angle alpha. It is the angle between the two lines joining the center of the sprocket and the hinge centers of two adjacent links when chain is wrapped around the sprocket. Third definition, pitch of the chain denoted by small p. It is the distance between a hinge center of one link and the corresponding hinge center of the adjacent link. So it is shown by the small letter p in the diagram. Now let small p be the pitch of the chain in mm. Z number of teeth on the sprocket. Z1 is for the smaller sprocket and Z2 is for the bigger sprocket. But here in general we have denoted Z as number of teeth on sprocket. Alpha is the pitch angle in degrees and capital D is pitch circle diameter of the sprocket in mm. Now from figure 11 we have the pitch cone angle alpha is equal to 360 divided by number of teeth, that is Z. So let us consider this as equation 1, and sine of alpha by 2 is equal to P by 2 upon D by 2. So therefore from this equation we can have the pitch circle diameter of the sprocket D equal to pitch upon sine of alpha by 2. So let us take this as equation 2. Now substituting the value of alpha from equation 1 in equation 2, we have the sprocket diameter, pitch circle diameter D equal to P upon sine of 180 by Z. So let us take this as equation number 3. Now next definition, average velocity V. The average velocity V in meters per second of the chain is given as V is equal to Z into P into N upon 60 into 1000, where Z is number of teeth, P is the pitch and N is the speed in RPM. Speed ratio I. The speed ratio I of the chain drive is given as equal to speed of the driving sprocket upon speed of the driven sprocket, that is equal to N1 upon N2, that is equal to Z2 upon Z1. So let us consider this as equation number 5, where Z1 and Z2 are number of teeth on driving and driven sprocket respectively. Now number of links denoted by capital M. The number of links in the chain are determined by the following approximate relation. So capital M equal to 2 into C by P plus Z1 plus Z2 by 2 plus Z1 minus Z2 upon 2 pi the whole square into P by C, where C is the center distance, Z are the number of teeth on the respective sprockets, and P is a pitch of the chain. Let us consider this as equation number 6. So M is number of links, C is center distance between driving and driven sprockets, mm, as said earlier. P is a pitch of the chain in mm, and Z1 and Z2 are number of teeth on driving and driven sprocket respectively. Now next, corrected center distance denoted by CC. So after selecting the exact number of links, the corrected center distance is calculated by the following relationship. So this equation number 6 gives us the corrected center distance. And finally the length of chain, capital L. The length of the chain is calculated as number of links multiplied by pitch of the chain. So let us consider this as equation number 7. Now let us discuss the polygon effect in the chain. The chain passes around the sprocket as a series of chordal links. This action is similar to that of a non-slipping belt wrapped around a rotating polygon. The chordal action is illustrated in figure 12, where the sprocket has only 4 teeth. So this figure 12 shows the sprocket having 4 number of teeth. It is assumed that the sprocket is rotating at constant speed of n rpm, and here we are considering the anti-clockwise rotation of the sprocket as shown in the figure. Now in figure A, the chain link AB is at a distance of d by 2 from the center of the sprocket wheel, and its linear velocity is given by the equation V max equal to pi into the diameter of the sprocket d into n upon 60 into 1000 meters per second, where n is the rpm of the sprocket. Now as this sprocket rotates through an angle of alpha by 2, the new position of the link AB will be as shown in figure B. In this case, the link is at a distance of d by 2 into cos of alpha by 2 from the center of the sprocket, and its linear velocity will be V minimum equal to pi into d into n into cos of alpha by 2 upon 16 to 1000 meters per second. So it is evident that the linear speed of the chain is not uniform but varies from V max to V minimum during every cycle of the tooth engagement. This results in a pulsating and jerky motion of the chain, and the variation in the velocity is given by V max minus V minimum, that is the difference between the two velocities, is directly proportional to 1 minus cos of alpha by 2. If we substitute the value of alpha, then we get this difference is directly proportional to 1 minus cos of 180 by z, where z is number of teeth on the sprocket. Now as number of teeth z increases to infinity, the cos of 180 by z or cos of 180 upon infinity, that will be approach to cos of 0, and that will approach to the unity, and therefore the difference V maximum minus V minimum will become 0. Therefore the variation will be 0. In order to reduce the variation in the chain speed, the number of teeth on the sprocket should be increased. So as we increase the number of teeth, the variation in speed will decreases. So it is observed that the speed variation is 4% for a sprocket with 11 teeth, 1.6% for a sprocket with 17 teeth, and less than 1% for a sprocket with 24 number of teeth. For smooth operation at moderate and high speeds, it is considered a good practice to use a driving sprocket with at least 17 number of teeth. From durability and noise considerations, the minimum number of teeth on the driving sprocket should be 19 or 21. Figure 13 below shows the percentage variation against number of teeth on the sprocket. We can see here the percentage speed variation decreases as number of teeth on the sprocket increases.